Assalamu alaikum. Today, inshallah, again, we are going to complete what we have started. Chapter 1, Reading 1. Today, inshallah, نتكلم على human brain. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Follow your heart معناها follow your emotions, because heart is responsible for emotions. Take your brain with you معناها think with your brain. المهم اليوم إن شاء الله بنتكلم على human brain اللي هو المخ البشري human brain. Let's start. Reading 1, the human brain. Before you read, this is a picture or an image of the human brain, and these are the divisions. دي تقسيمات الهيومن brain. طبعا احنا this is not science class. ده مش هيكون science class إن أنا أقعد أقرأ the parts of the human brain. But you have some questions from question number 1 to question number 5. He is asking about the brain and the parts of the brain. Which part do you use? I have summarized this in a simple paragraph to understand the idea of the lesson. ألخص الكلام ده كله في فقرة بسيطة كده لغاية ما نبدأ ناخد معلومات من الريدنج. Scientists divided the brain into the right side and the left side. العلماء كلها بتقسم الهيومن brain into the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain اللي هو الشق الأيسر والشق الأيمن. The right side of the brain, the right side controls the left side of the body. هم زي ما هم بيقولوا إن الشق الأيمن من المخ بيتحكم في الجزء الأيسر من الجسم. And the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. والشق الأيسر من المخ بيتحكم في الجزء الأيمن من الجسم. According to scientists, the brain is divided into the old brain that is responsible for basic functions such as eating and breathing. وده بقى الجزء المفروض دي المعلومة اللي نفهمها جديد عشان نقدر نفهم الريدنج تكست. العلماء بيقولوا في عندنا حاجة اسمها الأولد برين. الأولد برين is responsible for مسؤول عن البيسك functions الوظائف الرئيسية في الجسم such as eating, breathing, and the new brain that is responsible for complex activities اللي هو الأنشطة المعقدة such as logical thinking. يبقى أنا عندي في the brain is divided into ده المعلومة اللي تهمني. The brain is divided into the old brain and the new brain. The old brain is responsible for basic functions. old brain وده المسؤول عن basic functions such as eating and breathing. New brain وده is responsible for complex activities المسؤول عن complex activities الأنشطة المعقدة زي logical thinking التفكير المنطقي. However المعلومة المهمة بالرغم من ذلك both sides don't work separately. يعني old brain and the new brain don't work separately. لا يعملوا بشكل منفصل. They work collaboratively. بيعملوا collaboratively. They collaborate. الاثنين collaborate. بيتعاونوا مع بعض to achieve tasks. Let's go on. Here vocabulary. Read and listen to the following words and phrases and compare them with your list of words from your brainstorming. Put a check mark next to the words you don't know. Do not use a dictionary. Here in the table في الجدول ده you can see vocabulary with their meanings in Arabic. الفوكابولاري هو هنا مقسمها إلى nouns أسماء adjectives صفات and expression معناها تعبيرات. Nouns, adjectives, and expressions. Let's listen to them.
Vocabulary. Nouns. Blood vessels. Colleagues. Hemispheres. intuition, logic, maturation, maturity, memory, neuroscientists, origins, toxins, wiring, adjectives, cognitive, logical, mature, precise, repressed, expression, going into training.
Let's listen to the audio once more. نسمع الأوديو مرة تانية عشان نقدر نقرأ الكلمات دي بشكل صحيح. Listen to the audio once more.
Vocabulary.
Nouns. Blood vessels. Colleagues. Hemispheres. Intuition. Logic. Maturation. Maturity. Memory. Neuroscientists. Origins. Toxins. Wiring. Adjectives. Cognitive. Logical. Mature. Precise. Repressed. Expression. Going into training.
Now we have blood vessels, الأوعية الدموية, colleagues, الزملاء, hemisphere, نصف الكرة الأرضية. But when you say the right hemisphere, the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere الشق الأيمن من المخ. The left hemisphere الشق الأيسر من المخ. لكن ما تقول the southern hemisphere اللي هو نصف الكرة الجنوبي. northern hemisphere نصف الكرة الشمالية. يبقى لما نجيب right و left يبقى داخل المخ. The right hemisphere, the left hemisphere. Intuition اللي هو الحدس. Logic منطق. Maturation and maturity اللي هو النضج. Memory الذاكرة. Neuroscientists علماء الأعصاب. Origins. Toxins. Wiring. Cognitive. Logical. Mature. Precise. Repressed. Going into training. والكلمات مقسمة إلى nouns اللي هي كلمات الاسم, adjectives, صفات, expression, اللي هو التعبيرات. You can stop the video for 1 or 2 minutes. وقف الفيديو دي أو دقيقتين لغاية ما تقرأ الكلمات بشكل جيد, تعرف معناها بشكل جيد. Then you can go on. Okay, let's go on. Here, thinking and predicting. Work with a partner or in small groups. Read the following questions and suggest possible answers. Make notes under each question. You have 6 questions. In the same way, you can stop the video for 1 minute or 2 minutes. Think over these questions and come back again. Let's start. Question number 1. How are human brains different from animal brains? كيف إن الهيومن brains المخ البشري different from animal brains يختلف عن مخ الحيوانات. Both animals and humans have the old brain. اتكلمنا عنه. إيه هو مفهوم ال old brain? Old brain that is responsible for basic functions. ال old brain ده المسؤول عن ال basic functions اللي هو eating, sleeping, breathing, التنفس والأكل والشرب, drinking. ده بنسميه ال old brain. Is responsible for basic functions. However, only humans have the new brain. لكن البشر أو الإنسان فقط اللي عنده new brain, which allows complex activity to take place in our brain. إيه هو الcomplex activity؟ اللي هو logical thinking, التفكير التفكير المنطقي, creativity, الإبداع, critical thinking, التفكير النقدي, problem solving, حل المشكلات. So you can say animals only have old brain. The animals فقط عندها old brain. But humans have old brain and new brain. وانت فهمت الفرق ما بين old brain اللي هو for basic functions and the new brain for complex activities. Question number 2. Why do some people seem to be more creative than others? ليه بعض الناس بتكون more creative, أكثر إبداعاً than others? Why? They apparently use the right side of their brain more. لأنه بيعتقد إن هم بيستخدموا right side of their brain more. This is what some scientists think. Question number 3. What is the difference between the left and right sides of the brain? إيه الفرق ما بين ال left side وال right side of the brain اللي هو الشق الأيسر والشق الأيمن من المخ. Studies have shown that the left side of the brain focuses on logic. الشق الأيسر من المخ بيركز على اللوجيك, الأشياء المنطقية. Whereas the right side of the brain is more creative. لكن الجزء الأيمن more creative. So the left side of the brain focuses on logic. The right side of the brain is more creative. عشان كده احنا قلنا في السؤال اللي قبله and why do some people seem to be more creative than others? Because they use the right side of their brain more. Question number 4. How can we improve our memories? ازاي ان انت improve, تحسن الميموريز, الذاكرة. A healthy diet, وجبة غذائية متوازنة. Exercising regularly, تمارين بشكل منتظم. Not smoking. This helps you to improve your memory. What activities might make people less focused intellectually? ايه الاكتيفيتيز اللي بتخلي الناس less focused, اقل تركيز, intellectually? Using cell phone, الجلوس على الموبايل طول الوقت. Reading and writing emails, طول الوقت قاعد تقرأ emails وتكتب emails. And text messaging, الرسائل اللي شغالة على الواتساب can distract people. Distract معناته يشتت. Distract. Using a cell phone, reading and writing emails, and text messaging can distract people. Last question. What activity may make people more relaxed? الactivities اللي تخليك relaxed, في حالة استرخاء. Meditation, التأمل. Meditation. Again, meditation. Meditation can make people more relaxed and focused. More relaxed and focused. لازم نحفظ الكلمات دي. Meditation. Let's go on. Now, there is a reading text. I divided the reading text into parts. أنا قسمت reading text إلى parts عشان كده يبقى عندنا حصتين في reading 1 اللي هو reading 1 part 1, reading 1 part 2. The human brain, new discoveries. This is paragraph A. We're going to listen to the audio. نسمع الأوديو وأعطيك وقت تقرأ الحالة. After listening to the audio, we want 2 pieces of information. What is the topic of this paragraph? إيه هي التوبيك؟ يعني إيه التوبيك؟ اللي هو the main idea of this paragraph, الفكرة الرئيسية في الفقرة دي. And information. Give me some specific information or some details from the reading text. يبقى بعد ما نسمع في عندي معلومتين. المعلومة الأولى the topic. Topic means the main idea of this paragraph. ودايما المين ايديا comes at the beginning of the paragraph. لما تحب تبحث عن الفكرة الرئيسية في الفقرة هتلاقي الفكرة الرئيسية in the first or at most the second sentence. تلاقي الفكرة الرئيسية في الجملة الأولى أو at most على الأكثر بتكون في الجملة الثانية. يعني the first two sentences أو الجملتين في الفقرة include the main idea of this paragraph. Information, you have a lot of details or a lot of specific information through the paragraph. الفقرة كلها يكون فيها a lot of details. Let's listen to the audio. Listen.
Reading.
The human brain. New discoveries. Most of us learn basic facts about the human brain in our middle or high school biology classes. We study the subcortex, the old brain, which is found in the brains of most animals and is responsible for basic functions, such as breathing, eating, drinking, and sleeping. We learn about the neocortex, the new brain, which is unique to humans and is where complex brain activity takes place. We find that the cerebrum, which is responsible for all active thought, is divided into two parts, or hemispheres. The left hemisphere generally manages the right side of the body. It is responsible for logical thinking. The right hemisphere manages the left side of the body. This hemisphere controls emotional, creative, and artistic functions. And we learn that the corpus callosum is the bridge that connects the two hemispheres. Memorizing the names for parts of the brain might not seem thrilling to many students, but new discoveries in brain function are exciting. Recent research is shedding light on creativity, memory, maturity, gender, and the possibility of changing the brain.
Now we listen to the audio. You can stop for 1 or 2 minutes until you read the paragraph again yourself to get the topic and the information. Okay, I am back. What is the topic of this paragraph? What is the topic? The topic here is facts about the human brain. Facts about the human brain. If you come to the first sentence, نقرأ الجملة الأولى. Most of us learn basic facts about the human brain in our middle or high school biology classes. So the main idea or the topic of this paragraph comes in the first sentence. المين idea الفكرة الرئيسية بتيجي في أول جملة في الفقرة اللي هي basic facts about the human brain. So what is the topic? Facts about the human brain. Information, you have a lot of information in this text, a lot of details. For example, we have the old brain. The old brain is responsible, old brain in the brains of most animals and is responsible for basic functions such as breathing, eating, drinking, and sleeping. Neocortex or new brain, يعني neocortex هي نفسها new brain, which is unique to humans. Where complex brain activities take place, في complex activities. The brain is divided into two parts or two hemispheres. The left hemisphere, and this is generally manages logical thinking. Right hemisphere, and this is for emotional, creativity, artistic functions. All these are information from the text. So information like old brain and the new brain, old brain, basic functions, new brain, complex brain activities. Now you have two questions. I have created these questions. أنا اللي كتبت السؤالين دول مش موجودين في الكتاب أو في الكورس الموجود عندك، ولكن أنا كتبت السؤالين دول to check your understanding of the passage or the text. لأن في نهاية السنة أو في نهاية الترم الأول هيجيب لك تكست، هيجيب لك نص، والنص ده عليه أسئلة. فإحنا كل نص reading سواء كان في chapter 1, chapter 2 or chapter 3، كل نص reading بجيب لك عليه سؤالين to check your understanding وعشان تعودك على طريقة الامتحان. Again, you can stop the video for 1 or 2 minutes. ممكن توقف الفيديو دقيقتين أو دقيقة إن أنت read the text and think of the answers. I am back again. Question number 1. Based on the information in the passage, بناء على المعلومات اللي في الباسج, the old brain is responsible for. The old brain responsible for. ارجع للمعلومة في النص. شوف عندك الكي وورد اللي هو old brain. ارجع للنص عند الاولد برين واقرأ المعلومة كاملة وابدأ فكر في الإجابة الصحيحة. لا طالع الإجابات في البداية. get the keyword. خليك مع الكيورد. ارجع للكيورد in the passage. اقرأ المعلومة كاملة وقارنها بالإجابات. تعال نرجع للكيورد. we study the subcortex, the old brain. يعني السبكورتكس هو الأولد brain, which is responsible for which is found in the brain of most animals and is responsible for مسؤول عن الايه؟ عن ال basic functions such as breathing, eating, drinking, and sleeping. We learn about new cortex. New cortex انت دخلت في معلومة جديدة. فاحنا مع الاولد برين او السب كورتكس. يبقى الإجابة موجودة في فهمي بالسطرين اللي أنا point to them. Number 1. Developed functions. لو رجعت للنص, النص بيقول لي إن هو مسؤول عن ال basic functions مش ال developed functions. Logical thinking. لما قرأت المعلومة عن الأولد برين ما اتكلمش عن الشيء اللي هو اللوجيكال. logical thinking اللي هو التفكير المنطقي. طيب functions to keep life. هل هو مسؤول عن الفانكشنز الوظائف اللي هي to keep life تحافظ على حياتها؟ نرجع للنص. هنا بيقول لي basic functions وظائف أساسية اللي هو breathing, eating, drinking, sleeping. breathing, eating, drinking, sleeping هي دي الfunctions to keep life. يبقى هي ديت الإجابة الصحيحة طبقا لفهمي للنص. Question number 2. According to the information in the passage, طبقا للمعلومات اللي في النص, new brain is responsible for. نفس الشيء هاخد الكي وورد اللي هو new brain وابدا اقرا المعلومه في النص واقارن اجاباتي. Let's go back. We learn about new cortex, the new brain. يبقى new cortex هي نفسها new brain, which is unique to humans. يبقى ده خاص بالبشر او الانسان. And is where complex brain activity takes place. يبقى هو مسؤول عن الايه؟ complex brain activity, الأنشطة المعقدة. That's okay. complex brain activity. كده انتهت المعلومة على النيو برين. نبدأ نشوف معلوماتنا. complicated activities in the brain. complicated يعني معقد. لو شفت كلمة complicated activities in the brain هتلاقي نفس السينونيم لكلمة complex. يعني كلمة complex معقد هي نفسها كلمة complicated. هنا بيقول لي complex brain activity وهنا بيقول لي complicated activities in the brain. يبقى دي الإجابة الصحيحة. لو حبيت تكمل simple activities, لا هو ما بيتكلمش عن simple activities لأنه في النص قال لي complex activities. لو بيتكلم عن eating and sleeping, لا eating و sleeping ده الخاص بالold brain مش النيو brain. drinking and breathing ده خاص بالold brain not the new brain. يبقى إجابتي صحيحة طبقا للنص. Let's go on. Paragraph B. Paragraph B. Left brain, right brain, truth or myth. Myth يعني خرافة و truth يعني حقيقة. Again, we are going to listen to the audio. لكن أنا الأوديو is only one audio for all the passages. So I am going to, yes, I will try.
Reading.
But new discoveries in brain function are exciting. Recent research is shedding light on creativity, memory, maturity, gender, and the possibility of changing the brain. Left.
Now you can listen to paragraph B. Paragraph B هيبدأ دلوقتي. Listen.
Brain, right brain. Truth or myth? Scientists agree that the left hemisphere of the brain specializes in different areas or skills than the right hemisphere. Up until recently, many believed that people were either left-brained, in other words more logical, or right-brained, in other words more creative, depending on which hemisphere they used most. However, New research suggests that this is a myth, and that dividing creativity and logic into the right and left hemispheres is a simple way of looking at the human brain, as well as the things a person can do. Rather than being separated, the two hemispheres continually collaborate. Being able to solve a mathematical equation requires both logic and creativity. So does producing a work of art. Therefore, scientists are now theorizing that any type of activity requires the use of different parts of the brain, both in the left hemisphere and the right. The confusion was probably caused in the 1940s, when doctors would surgically separate the two hemispheres in patients suffering from seizures. After such an operation, the patient's brain seemed to function normally, but there were disruptions in perception and cognition, which proved that the left and right hemispheres were different. Memory, true or false?
Now, again, the topic of this paragraph or the main idea is mentioned in the first sentence. For example, scientists agree that the left hemisphere of the brain specializes in different areas or skills than the right hemisphere. So the topic of this paragraph or the main idea is comparison, مقارنة between left and right brain or left hemisphere of the brain and right hemisphere of the brain. الشق الأيسر من المخ والشق الأيمن من المخ بيعمل ما بينهم comparison. If you go on, here you can see people are divided into left brain. الناس بتعتمد على الشق الأيسر من المخ ودول اللي هم بيكونوا more logical. right brain الناس بتعتمد على الشق الأيمن من المخ ودول بيكونوا more creative. That's okay. But this is a simple way. بالطريقة ديت this is simple way of looking at the human brain. دي طريقة مبسطة إن احنا ننظر للhuman brain. فالكاتب هنا بيقول to produce a work of art إن أنت produce a work of art عشان ننتج عمل فني or to solve a mathematical equation أو تحل مسألة mathematical you need both. أنت محتاج الاثنين the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere to collaborate. إن هما collaborate يعني to work together. Collaborate معناها to work together. So you have a lot of information such as left and right brain do not work separately. The left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain الشق الأيسر من المخ والشق الأيمن do not work separately. لا يعملوا بشكل منفصل. They work collaboratively. بيعملوا they work together. Now you can stop the video for 1 or 2 minutes, read the 2 questions and try to get the answers. Okay, I am back. Based on the text, يعني بناء على النص, dividing people into right brain or left brain is, فنفس الطريقة هاخد الكي word اللي هي right brain and left brain. Go back to the text. لو رجعنا للنص مرة تانية, many believe that people were either left-brained, in other words, more logical, or right-brained, in other words, more creative, depending on which hemisphere they used most. دي المعلومة اللي احنا أخدناها. Again, نكمل بيت المعلومة. However, new research suggests that this is a myth. myth يعني ده خرافة. يعني not right, not true. And that dividing creativity and logic into the right and the left hemisphere is a simple way of looking at the human brain, as well as the things a person can do, rather than being separated. Being separated, the two hemispheres continually collaborate. المعلومة اللي هنا بتقول تاني السؤال based on the text, dividing people into right brain or left brain is, هل ده logically correct؟ يعني ده صحيح منطقيا؟ The scientists' viewpoints, a common mistake recently proved right. لو رجعت للنص هتلاقي النص بيقول this is a myth. A myth يعني شيء غير حقيقي أو خطأ. So the correct answer will be a common mistake. يعني ده خطأ شائع. To make a work of art. هرجع للكي ووردز اللي هي work of art. لما ارجع للنص so does producing a work of art. نرجع لقبلها being able to solve a mathematical equation. عشان احل mathematical equation requires both logic and creativity. انت محتاج logic المنطق ومحتاج الكرياتيفيتي. يعني محتاج الرايت هيمسفير and left hemisphere الاثنين. So يعني وكذلك does producing a work of art. يعني بنفس الطريقة a work of art needs the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. نشوف بقى الكوريكت answer هنا. The right hemisphere works in a different way. لا مش إجابة صحيحة. The left hemisphere works in a different way. خطأ. Both sides work separately. الاثنين بيعملهم بشكل منفصل. Both sides work collaboratively. بيعملوا مجتمعين مع بعض. هي دي الإجابة الصحيحة اللي هي بتساوي هنا both logic and creativity. أنت محتاج logic اللي هو left hemisphere ومحتاج creativity اللي هو right hemisphere. فمن خلال فهمي both sides work collaboratively. Let's go on. نكمل. Paragraph C. Memory true or false. هل الميموري الذاكرة true or false? We are going to listen to paragraph C and paragraph D to get the topic and the information.
Reading.
Mathematical equation requires both logic and creativity. So does producing a work of art. Therefore, scientists are now theorizing that any type of activity requires the use of different parts of the brain, both in the left hemisphere and the right.
Now we are going to listen to the memory.
Confusion was probably caused in the 1940s, when doctors would surgically separate the two hemispheres in patients.
لسه يا جماعة ما بدأناش paragraph C. خلينا نقدم شوية.
Memory.
Now you can listen.
True or false? In the 1980s in the United States, there were many cases of adults who suddenly remembered, with the help of a psychologist, things that had happened to them in childhood. These memories had been repressed, held back for many years. Some of these newly discovered memories have sent people to prison, as people remember crimes that they saw or experienced as children. The police have reopened and investigated old criminal cases. In fact, over 700 cases have been filed that are based on these repressed memories. However, studies in the 1990s suggested that many of these might be false memories. At a 1994 conference at Harvard Medical School, neuroscientists discussed how memory is believed to work. It is known that small pieces of a memory, sound, sight, feeling, and so on, are kept in different parts of the brain. The limbic system, in the middle of the brain, pulls these pieces together into one complete memory. But it's certain that people can remember things that have never happened. Even a small suggestion can leave a piece of memory in the brain. Most frightening, according to Dr. Michael Nash of the University of Tennessee, is that there may be no structural difference in the brain between a false memory and a true one.
Now, what is the topic or the main idea of paragraph C and paragraph D? You can stop the video for 1 minute, read the 2 paragraphs again to get the main idea. The main idea is how brain recalls all the memories. ازاي المخ بيستدعي old memories, الذكريات القديمة. Information, brain can create memories of things never happened. المخ البشري ممكن يخلق ذكريات never happened according to the author. ده كان رأي الكاتب اللي هو في آخر جزء اللي هو there may be no structural difference in the brain between a false memory and a true one. المخ ما بيميزش ما بين false memory and the true memory. So brain can create memories of things never happens. Some people were jailed because of old memories. بعض الناس went to prison. سجنوا because of old memories. بسبب old memories اللي هو الكاتب جابها في الفقرة paragraph C. For many years, some of these newly discovered memories have sent people to prison as people remember crimes that they saw or experienced as children. That's okay? Let's go on. Now, words and their definitions. دي الكلمات المهمة اللي أخذناها في النص. Hemispheres. Hemispheres means two halves of the brain. Logical, that uses logic. Memory, the skill, ability of remembering things. Maturity, behaving like an adult. Logic, a mature and reasonable way of thinking and acting. Collaborate, working together. Disruption, interruptions in an activity. Repressed, held back. Neuroscientists, scientists that study the brain and the nervous system. Mature, a person who behaves like an adult. Maturation, the process of becoming mature. Colleagues, people who you work with. Origins, the beginning of something. Intuition, the ability to use one's feelings in order to understand. Precise, exact. Cognitive, connected with thinking. Toxins, poisonous substances. Blood vessels, tubes in your body through which blood flows. Wiring, the system that connects parts of your brain. Going into training, start to train. الكلمات دي كلها كلمات مهمة هتساعدك في فهم النصوص. You can understand reading passages easily, and these vocabulary will help you to write academically. تساعدك في الكتابة بشكل أكاديمي وبشكل أفضل. You have to keep them. لازم تحاول تحفظ الكلمات دي. في نفس الوقت هتساعدك في امتحان الإمساك. Like this, we came to the end of our session. Thank you very much. Goodbye.